How I found out about my wife's affair. I'm writing this because of the shocking way I found out about my wife's years of cheating behind my back. There are two parts to this story. The first is not so shocking and details how I found out about her cheating the first time, and the second part is how I found out the second time, which is the truly amazing one. Part 1. It all started when I was living in South Korea teaching English. I met my wife there, Korean woman, and the relationship started off good. We had our fights but loved each other, or so I thought. After a few years of marriage we decided to move to the USA. I was tired of teaching English as a profession and she wanted to be a nurse in the US. She was an emergency room nurse in Korea. Her English was okay, but she wanted to try to learn it fluently. So before we immigrated she started studying English and going to an English academy where she would spend long hours. After a while of her studying there, before we moved back to the US, I started seeing some changes in her. First, there's this messaging app in Korea called KakaoTalk. It's used almost ubiquitously over there. Think Facebook Messenger for Korea. In the past she had always had a picture of us as her profile picture on the app. She made sure our picture was on mine as well. Then one day I noticed she took all of our pictures off the app and I confronted her about it. I forget what excuse she made, but when I asked her to put our picture back up there she absolutely would not. I think she made it seem like it wasn't a big deal and I was making too much out of it. I knew something had changed and I noticed her attitude toward me was more confrontational and demeaning during this time. I still didn't suspect cheating, however. I should have, but she had always said she loved me so much and would never cheat on me. I guess I believed her. There were a few nights she didn't come home. Each time of course she made a believable excuse. On the night I found out she had said she would stay the night with her sister because she had to take her sister and her husband to the airport early the next morning. This was probably the third or fourth time I had to stay at the apartment by myself in that night. I started feeling lonely, so I messaged her on KakaoTalk. Not only did she not answer my texts on Kakao, I could tell she never even read them because on the app it lets you know if the message has been seen or not. Later I found out that she had blocked me, so she never even received the messages. I called and got no answer. I waited a bit longer and called again. Still no answer, of course. Also on Kakao it will show you who's currently on the app. I saw that her sister, who she said she would stay with, was on the app. I called her sister and asked if she was there and explained that she had told me she was staying there tonight. Her sister seemed shocked and you could tell by her tone and answer that she didn't know anything about this. She hadn't seen my wife and didn't know where she was. I didn't know this at the time, but after my phone conversation with the sister called my wife and wanted to know what was going on. My wife probably lied to her as she did to me, but her sister did convince her she needed to call me. So my wife calls me and I was pissed because I knew she had lied to me. I told her she better get home now or our marriage is over. Upon arriving home she told me to get in her car and started spinning a tale, which she probably told her sister too, about not wanting to tell me, but that she was out clubbing with some single girl friends. She made it sound like she was just helping them hook up with guys and wasn't looking for anybody herself. I said, "Give me your phone," and basically yanked it out of her hand. I opened the KakaoTalk app and clicked on the first conversation and started going through it, snapping pictures. Only then did the real truth come out. The messages I had been taking pictures of were from a teacher at the English academy she had been attending. I only had a few pictures before she took the phone back crying, asking me to please stop because she didn't want to hurt me more. But the pictures I did have definitely told the story. They had a sexual relationship and he is who she was with that night. So she confessed about having liked him and having an affair with him. I was pretty devastated. We were literally a month away from going to the